The Last of Us 1 and 2 games are probably one of the most enjoyable games I've ever played. And this is going to go into discussions about killing off characters and stuff like that as well. But I just wanted to talk about the Bella Ramsey thing quick. And I don't think that there's anything wrong, personally, with her performance as Ellie. I don't.
The year's 2025 and the gaming world is at war. On one side, the general public, who doesn't get what the big deal is.
If there truly are people that are dropping off of the show, they're cowards.
They didn't like strong women. They don't like a lesbian.
And on the other side, gamers.
Well, the attacks on gamers are just beginning.
The wokest episode in television history.
At the center stands Neil.
So I'm going to pause it there. People have already irritated me on this video. I'm already getting irritated. Like, and I know it's a generational difference and we're not all going to get along. I'm already irritated. F off. Oh, God. Yeah, exactly. Woke. Shut up. I honestly feel like people are so close-minded and they really just do not understand what the world is. And I know they're younger and they now have a platform to say the things that we didn't have a platform to say when we were kids, so we probably got away with half the dumb shit he said. But there's so many people out there that they just talk too much. Just read a book. Right, let's go.
Druckmann.
And all I'll say is at the end of the day, you're way less important. And some of you are not important at all. It's laughable. We send it to each other as jokes some of the time.
The beta male, the male feminist.
A once universally respected visionary. Now, the most divisive figure in gaming.
This is hilarious. I saw this on Reddit.
I'm gonna kill your kid in front of you. How vile.
Turning a game studio known for only making classics into one that only makes remasters and news headlines.
This to me does feel actually disrespectful, and I mean that legitimately.
And to think that
I'm just gonna pause it there. Let's talk about quickly Uncharted. What did you think of the film in terms of the adaptation from the games? If I'm gonna be honest, I think it was trash, and that's just in general the film. I think the games were phenomenal. I thought the film was terrible, and I think that I don't think I've ever spoken about it on stream. I don't even think I've really seen any reviews on it. I just kind of watched it and had my own sort of feedback on it. But good actors, good actresses, good performances, production values obviously massively up there. It just didn't hit anything. It just didn't hit anything. Yeah, I agree. The Uncharted games, I think were great. And yeah, okay, so we're all agreeing. Yeah. Tom T Bridges 10 says they're young effing idiots, most of them, pointless opinions from pointless people. That's the thing. It's normally the people that it's not actually offending. They're just doing it to get some sort of attention from, you know, other threads of communication, or in the fear that that is going to offend somebody else. You can't say that because that's going to offend that person. How dare you? It's nothing to do with them. It's their assumption that it's going to, affect somebody else. Like, well, they can say something if they're going to be affected. Do you know what I mean? But anyway, let's continue.
It all started with an idea he had in college. It's 2004, and Neil needs to pitch a zombie game to the father of zombie movies, George Romero.
We had a school project where we had to pitch game ideas to George Romero.
So the idea was for this kind of the story.
His idea is about a cop protecting a young girl. In the game, the player switches between the two characters to force empathy.
I pitched it to George, and he hated it. So I just sat on it.
After getting a job as a programmer at the game studio Naughty Dog, he continues to work on these ideas in the background, until Naughty Dog promotes Neil, along with Uncharted 2 director Bruce Straley, to direct a new project.
Our task was to reboot Jak and Daxter.
We started to realize that it was not going to do justice to the franchise that the fans had fallen in love with. It would be shifting it so far in a new direction.
I'm like, well, I have this thing I've been working on. What if we try to do this?
Eventually, this turns into a game based on his zombie idea. The old cop becomes a smuggler named Joel, who's tasked with escorting a girl that's immune to the virus named Ellie across the country to people that are working on a cure. Some of Neil's other pitches include Joel being a hardened criminal seeking redemption, a virus that only infects women,
and you found the one girl that it didn't infect, and that was Ellie. And the reason it failed is because it was a misogynistic idea.
A revenge plot where Joel's old partner Tess hunts him across the country, and a climactic scene where Ellie comes in and saves Joel from being murdered by Tess. The game's director, Bruce Straley, rejects the revenge elements. Quote, "Revenge just wasn't a strong enough motivation for someone to travel
I'll just keep it going.
all the way across an apocalyptic country for an entire year." At the time, Neil agrees. I'm pretty dark. I wanted to kill Elena in Uncharted 2. Bruce is the one that would balance me and push for more levity. The partnership works. It's a delicate tug of war.
That's
but
really
the end
interesting.
result is lightning in a bottle.
Great.
People are constantly critiquing each other, and that's the culture we try to cultivate here at Naughty Dog, because it helps make the game better, even if sometimes it can be frustrating and hurt your ego, but at the end of the day, it's all about the game.
The game launches in June 2013, and both critics and players are floored.
Making this the fourth game ever to earn my...
So this was the first game, right? So this was the first game. I know the reviews and and everything is going to be a lot lower for the second, but I'm just intrigued to see how much lower it is. I've never seen an in-depth review interviews about their sort of reaction on it as well. Hopefully we get that. Hopefully we get them kind of trying to justify the reasons they did the things they did, and if not, kind of taking the bullet and kind of agreeing. That would be pretty cool for them to say, do you know what, maybe if we did this, the fans wouldn't have been annoyed. But we'll see. I don't know, maybe they're just do you know what, I personally would prefer it if they are adamant and stick to their guns and say, you didn't like it because we made Joel so likable. You know what I mean? We loved Joel because he was the father figure that we all want or need. Do you know what I mean? That's why you hated it so much. It's because he's now gone, you know? And, you know, and I know they're going to bring up the whole thing of having this masculine woman or heroic woman and, you know, all that sort of stuff as well, and having a lesbian as a main character and blah, blah, blah. But I hope they stick to their guns. I really do. Let's carry on. Sean, bruv. Let's go back. 2013, Sean. This is not a spoiler. you should have played the game. You should have played the game. But let's carry on.
Both critics and players are floored.
Making this the fourth game ever to earn my highest rating.
The gameplay is pretty similar to their Uncharted games.
It's like a movie. Actually, my involvement is nothing.
But the story is universally praised as a step forward for video games.
Sarah is dead.
Don't do this to me, baby.
The zombie win.
By the end of the game, players are empathizing so hard, to the point of it almost feeling traumatic.
Could you put your life on the line for me? Could you be the last of us?
What the frick was that?
Could you put your life on the line for me?
What the frick? What's the matter with Ellie's face? Well, I mean, I've already played the remastered version, but that is not the Ellie I
So
remember.
hard, to the point of it almost feeling traumatic.
Could you put your life on the line for me?
That definitely doesn't look like Ellie. Why is her nose so far down her face? Well, that's not Joel either, though. Wait, is that what?
So hard, to the point of it almost feeling traumatic.
Could you put your life on?
Oh, that's the PS4 version. So they actually changed the imagery. I didn't know that. See, look, I'm a huge Last of Us fan, but I'm not that huge of a fan because I haven't delved into the past. I played the remastered and that's it.
On the line for me. Could you be the last of us?
And the ambiguous ending sparks countless debates online.
And so we don't want to come out and say it's or this is
the
what
Ellie we know.
Or this is definitely the answer because it is open.
Suddenly, Neil gets universally.
V the Raven says in part 1 they completely rebuilt the characters. Yeah, that's really interesting. That's Yeah, that's really remastered, I mean.
Praised as a storytelling genius.
It sticks in your mind even deeper on one level than a great work of literature or a cinematic masterpiece to some extent.
But their success comes with
It is a cinematic masterpiece, I think.
Right in the middle of production on Uncharted 4, Amy Hennig, one of the key creative forces behind Uncharted, leaves Naughty Dog under controversial circumstances.
It was very upsetting. Amy had been replaced. I don't know whether this is public knowledge or not, but that was not her choice. It was the company's choice.
At the same time, Neil gets promoted to fill Amy's spot and reworks everything.
Is it tough for you to go into the set and work with Neil Druckmann, or
you just have to be professional and try and leave your opinions and resentments outside, yeah.
The development crunch is so brutal that nearly 70% of designers quit after shipping due to creative burnout. Among them, Bruce Straley, Neil's creative partner and filter for his darker impulses, is gone. As Neil rises in the ranks, he grows more comfortable with confrontation. After getting some backlash for including LGBT content in The Last of Us DLC, he takes to Twitter. For each one of these bigoted and sad posts, I get thousands of positive ones from amazing fans. While arguing with fans might take a toll on Neil, it doesn't affect his standing at Naughty Dog. In fact, in 2017, he's promoted to vice president of the company. Now he has full creative control and a fresh team of developers. It's time to get honest.
The writer's responsibility. You have no social responsibilities in your writing. The only thing you have a responsibility is to tell the truth.
Just in time to start working on their next big project, The Last of Us.
Oh, okay.
Part 2.
Oh, okay.
The whole world applauds.
That's the question I was about to
fans
ask.
remain skeptical. Did they even need to make a second game? Wasn't the ambiguous ending part of the point?
And so we don't want to come out and say,
way.
oh, this is what we intend, or this is definitely the answer, because it is open.
I know there's a lot of people that feel this trepidation about revisiting what that ending means. No one loves these characters more than we do, and we would not do this if we didn't feel like we had the right idea.
Right off the bat, it's clear this is a Neil game. All of Neil's
We'll see about that.
ideas for the first game are back. The revenge plot, the switching between characters mechanic, and his idea to kill a main character from Uncharted 2.
This is going to be the
extreme
interesting
crunch
bit.
is also back.
Where are we on getting physics on these strands?
we are working on it?
So for next time? For next time?
Yes, yes.
They released a story trailer and gameplay demo, and the hype
blood,
train
I love it.
is now at full speed. The visuals are stunning.
Do you know
Every
what?
square
I
inch
want
of
to
the
play it
world
again.
is drenched in
This is where
detail.
I am on season 2, by the way.
Dude, they did the lips so well. Yeah, that actually looks really good. Wow. Yeah, how's I'm going in there? That's actually, seriously, that's really, really good attention to detail. And oh god.
Nevertheless, even with just breadcrumbs, the online debates are already heating up.
There started to be these rumors about the game, false narratives that the game has homophobic Christians, and that's who you fight. And then there's like a series of like YouTubers
in the forest
and websites that just run with this stuff.
Neil knows the creative choices aren't going to please everybody, but as long as no one inside spoils anything, he thinks the backlash will be
played
manageable.
both the games,
I was able to dismiss it, and then the leaks happened, and then all of a sudden it's like
exactly
flood.
sure.
With only a couple months until the game's release, someone leaks that they...
Excuse me. Left Behind is the DLC with Ellie and Vera, right? Is it Vera? Is it their sort of story when they were together? Is that right? Because no. No, I don't think I have played that. No. If that's the one you mean. I think that's what it is. I was just thinking the same, and so I might replay 2 before watching season 2. Yeah, we've started season 2 of the season series, and we're just getting up to the religious folk in the forest. That's where we're up to. And I really want to carry on watching that actually, but I can't because Jen's away, so I can't carry on watching it. So yeah, really interesting. Let's carry on.
Biggest spoiler in the game, Joel's death scene in full, plus the fact that you play as his killer for around half of the game. The YouTube video gets taken down at around 1,000 views, but that's enough. Neil braces for impact.
Just want to say on behalf of everyone at Naughty Dog, a lot of you have sent us.
Sorry. We missed that. Did they say that it got leaked?
Then the leaks happened.
Okay, yeah.
And then all of a sudden it's like a flood.
Okay.
With only a couple months until the game's release, someone leaks the biggest spoiler in the game, Joel's death scene in full. Plus the fact that you play as his killer for around half of the game. The YouTube video gets taken down at around 1,000 views, but that's enough. Neil braces for impact.
Just want to say on behalf of everyone at Naughty.
Sorry, how did they get to it? How they must have an incredible team. They got to that video when it only had 1,000 views. That is, without doubt, one of the most incredible. Like, really? Like, a week? What was it? 2 weeks before release? Oh my god, that would have been like anyone who was talking about The Last of Us. It would be on your feed. I'm assuming that social media feeders would have worked in the same way that if you're talking about something, that's going to pop up on your screen when something's posted. Only 1,000? I'd have been like, psh, unless it was, you know, people are screen recording and shit like that. But yeah, sheesh, good going. Yeah. Oh yeah, it's got to be taken off in minutes. How did they find it? Have they got a team sitting there for leaks like a month before, just typing in like oh, they got a system going that's constantly searching for Last of Us 2 leaks or, you know, info, and then it finds it? Like, they must have, right? Otherwise it just gets out there and ruins everything. So like it, you know, it did. Nearly.
A lot of you have sent us very sweet, encouraging messages along that time that have been really helpful. We make this thing.
And that was the lowest point in my life.
If the leaks are true,
God,
this game can kiss my.
The destruction of several characters.
Sorry, I'm gonna pause it there. This is where I'm gonna get really annoyed, because he has just explained that it was the lowest point of his life, with a smile, possibly a nervous smile, and then we go to an online, you know, YouTuber that's obviously very reputable. He had a gold badge in the back of YouTube. You know, he's saying things that are just to clickbait it up. Do you know what I mean? That this game can kiss my ass. I'm not with it and all this. Just, dude, it's a game. They are creating something for your entertainment purposes and to make you feel a certain way. Full stop. They are creating something to make you feel something. That's what the creative world is. I'm sorry, you can't put it any different. You either like it, you hate it, you love it, you cry over it, you're anxious with it, you're cringing, you despise it. Great, but it's all done for a reason. Do you know what I mean? And I stand behind that a team like this have made a bold choice, and it's not a choice that has gone lightly. You know, I know that there's probably one man that has majority of creative freedom, as we've been, you know, told. But there's a team there, and they've all backed it. I don't know. It annoys me when people are just straight to it. And I think a lot of the time, people are just trying to gain attention. People are trying to clickbait it. And, you know, or if there's already content out there that people are raging, and they're just trying to jump on that bandwagon and be a sheep, because then they fit into that crowd, which I don't know. It annoys me. Sorry. Let's go. Carry on. I'm gonna go back a little bit. Let's go.
This game can kiss my.
The destruction of several characters that people are very attached to.
And like those voices jumped on Joel dying and the fact that you played Joel's killer. And then the fact that they said that like Joel's killer is transgender.
If you think that game could be spoiled by a couple screenshots, really?
No matter what you've seen or heard.
After you hear them, you're not going to want to pick up this game.
Or read, nothing compares to playing this thing from beginning to end.
Joke throughout production would say is like the downfall of Naughty Dog.
This is it.
This is the downfall. This game is the downfall of Naughty Dog.
What? The game releases in June 2020, and within hours of the game's release, hundreds of negative reviews start flooding the game's page.
There we go.
Naughty Dog just went full The Last Jedi on this one.
Considering the game is supposed to be 20 to 30 hours long, the number of negative reviews raises some eyebrows. In response, some people even publish research articles dedicated to proving it's a coordinated attack. Sony starts allegedly taking down hundreds of reviews,
attacking gamers again, which, who's surprised? It's kind of funny that they'll delete the negative ones, right? But they won't delete the positive ones.
This guy's really salty that the game didn't go the way he wanted it.
Metacritic also...
So wait, sorry. Correct me if I'm wrong in what that guy was just saying. Oh, it's crazy how they're deleting all the negative comments, but they're not deleting the positive. It's because the positive ones are not created by bots, you moron. Am I wrong? Am I wrong? Correct me if I'm wrong, but
also implements a 72-hour waiting period for future reviews. Attacks are coming at Neil from all sides, but rather than letting it pass over, Neil goes full offense.
And all I'll say is at the end of the day, to all our critics, we listen to that stuff and we digest a lot of it, but you're way less important. And some of you are not important at all when you're kind of shout and threaten and doing all that stuff. It's laughable. We send it to each other as jokes.
Oh, God.
Look, I get it. You love these fictional characters, but they're not real. You do know that, right? Guys, don't be scared of therapy. Think of it like working out for your brain. But soon, bad reviews aren't the only thing on Neil's plate. Some of the more observant fans notice lies in the marketing, mainly that Joel is added in post to make it look like he's a bigger part of the game. They also make him look different.
I don't know why they would do that. Just have scenes in the trailer with Joel in them. That's not hard to do. They went out of their way to cut clips to make it look like Joel is involved in the scene.
Fans call it false advertising, but Neil says he just didn't want to spoil the surprise.
Metal Gear Solid 2 was
two sides to
and
that story.
I know some people hated it. I loved when I played Metal Gear Solid 2 and I saw those trailers. You were deceived, right? Because they moved boss battles around. You always saw Snake. They never showed you Raiden. And I remember like oh, I'm playing a whole new character. This is awesome.
However, fans bring up an IGN article from 2018 that quotes Neil as saying Ellie will be the only playable character. To make the situation worse, as the Game Awards approach, when The Last of Us Part 2 is nominated for Game of the Year, Neil tweets, "The Last of Us fans, activate. For every vote you cast for The Last of Us Part 2, a hater loses their caps lock."
This wasn't a good tweet. First of all, it's a very passive-aggressive tweet, particularly with his emoji at the end.
He apologizes, saying it was all a misunderstanding. He doesn't want to come across as someone who dislikes criticism.
My tweet was meant as a joke, RE trolls. Essentially, we're living in his head rent-free.
But none of his former fans buy it. Multiple YouTubers report receiving strikes from Neil over videos critical of the game or the leaks.
Not only did Naughty Dog strike down my YouTube channel along with so many others, they also are responsible for my Twitter account being taken down.
Come September 2022, Neil's ongoing battle with fans hasn't died down, and Naughty Dog hasn't announced any new games. Fans are getting impatient, but it gets worse. In 2022, they announced a $70 remake of The Last of Us Part 1. $70? For a remake of a $20 game that's already been remastered. Well, at least it's coming to PC. Hopefully the port is okay. Oh boy. Players booted up, and it's well, after over an hour of waiting for it to build shaders, frame rate issues on the most high-end computers, textures not loading properly.
See, this is the thing, right? I skipped all of this because I came in when it was amazing. I came in when it was amazing. And I didn't experience any of this, you know? So maybe that's why I've got such a love for the game, is that my experience is that I got invited to the premiere of episode 1. So I had to play the games, a game that I've wanted to play for many years. And I had to hook up my PlayStation 4 to the freaking PC and this and that and all this stuff. And I normally just stream straight from the PC. But I was like, no, I want to do it. I want to play it before I go and watch it. And it was the remastered version. I played all of 1 and then I played all of 2 back to back. And then the next day, after I finished the last stream of the second game, the next day I went to see the first episode at the world premiere of The Last of Us episode 1. And it has been, and it will be, just an incredible experience. Do you know what I mean? Like, you can't. I'm sorry. I'm biased in that way because my experience has been good. But clearly, some people have not had that experience, but we carry on.
Cutscenes where all the characters are wet. How does this one even work?
If you plan on buying the Last of Us 1 remake, you're an idiot.
You don't deserve to call yourself a gamer or ever play video games again. In fact,
Oh,
you don't
here we
even
go.
deserve to peek at a video game ever again. And quite frankly, I hope your hands cramp up.
After 2 years, this is it. Sales disappoint. Critics call it unnecessary, and the goodwill in Neil's haters all but evaporates.
Druckmann became an egomaniac after The Last of Us, and lost his sense of humility.
Fast forward a year, and things aren't looking much better. In terms of games, just remasters. But Neil feels good. He's been promoted to head of Naughty Dog, and HBO launches The Last of Us TV series. Before it's released, Neil announces major changes to the story, with no input from Bruce Straley as far as anyone knows.
For example, the Bill sequence works very well in the game because you're fighting the infected with Bill. I think if we had adapted that exactly as is for the show, maybe a thrilling episode, but dramatically would have been a lot less interesting than where we've ended up, which we changed it quite a bit.
His ex-fans are primed to hate it, but in the end, it's actually pretty good.
So let's talk about season 1, episode 3 for a second. Probably one of the sweetest pieces of television I've ever seen. Do you know what I mean? But it's quite funny that he has basically gone like that to all of the haters from The Last of Us, right? They don't like the transgender. They don't like the gays. They don't like lesbians. They don't like anything to do with any of that. And he puts it, wham bam, thank you ma'am, the full episode, and it was incredible. Absolutely incredible. And now knowing the history of it, despite the hate that he's got, I love it even more, man. I love it even more. It's put a smile on my face. Oh god. I mean, if you guys have, obviously there's a lot here who have seen the series, but I mean, come on, like, isn't it incredible? Season 1, episode 3. It really was so sweet, right, Sean? It was great. Hey, Scott, what's going on, man? Right, let's carry on. Hey, what's going on, AKI? We're just doing a review of a video here of The Last of Us 2, talking about the hatred of the series and the games and everything else. We've got a couple of minutes left, and then we're going to have a little chat, and then we're going to get into some games. A little bit different for the start of the stream. I'm really enjoying it. Are you guys enjoying it? I think it's cool, man. I think it's cool to do something slightly different. And after this, I'm putting the aircon on and I'm cracking a Guinness because I'm extremely thirsty. So yeah, we're doing a little bit of YouTube content right now. We are recording, and so any gifted subs that come through, any follows that come through, any comments that I read will be featured on the YouTube video, which will be going on to the YouTube that you're watching on right now. And so a little bit different. So yeah, it's Father's Day. You deserve a Guinness. Thanks, Sean. Right, let's carry on. We've got a couple of minutes left. Let's go.
We changed it quite a bit.
His ex-fans are primed to hate it, but in the end, it's actually pretty good. In fact, HBO says it's one of their most popular shows that year. Neil becomes somewhat of a mainstream celebrity. New fans start pouring in, game sales spike, and he finally feels like he has some people on his side. Until season 2.
Here we go.
It turns out fans of the show who haven't played the game have no idea what's in.
Sorry. What the hell was that? Neil Druckmann ignored at the Golden Globes Award. He's standing on a red carpet where you stand to get your picture taken. Is this the only evidence we have of him being ignored? Or was it just a cross of somebody else coming and this was him waiting to have his picture taken? Like, if he was getting a lot of hate, people are still going to want to get his picture. This is, again, look, 44 subscribers this guy's got. What you think he's posting this because he's passionate about gaming and the film world and this guy? No, he's doing it to try and get 1,000 subscribers, and I can't see the views, but he's probably got 1 million views because he's got 2,000 likes. And he's trying to get monetized page so he can earn some money because he's clickbaiting, he's rage baiting, it's just this world, man. It's sad. It's sad. Let's carry on.
It turns out fans of the show who haven't played the games have no idea what's in store.
We're gonna kill him with a golf club?
I don't know what to do right now. I don't know what to do right now. I didn't think it was gonna happen this
soon.
And after Joel's big moment, public opinion shifts.
Oh, sorry. Spoilers if no one's seen season 2, by the way. This is footage from season 2, so look away. Look away if you don't know that Joel dies, and you're well behind. But yeah, this is season 2. There's only 1 minute left.
IGN gives the episode their lowest rating in history.
The result is a competent, often thrilling hour of television,
course.
but one that ultimately underserves the larger story and the characters it forever changes.
Viewership starts to fall off, and the season finale sees a 55% drop from the first season.
You have to expect that some people would just switch off after that. Of course. And people have switched off in their droves. But not only that.
In December 2024, fans finally get a brief glimpse of something new. This time Neil has an executive producer role. But that doesn't make it void of controversy.
Bro, I saw that Intergalactic, the heretic prophet, literally had more dislikes than Concord.
Actress for Naughty Dog's upcoming game Intergalactic, Heretic Prophet mocked gamers by sharing pro-DEI fan art. These are games that definitely are anti-gamer. These companies hate you. They have to be boycotted.
But Neil says not to worry, that this next game is going to deal with a much less controversial subject matter.
Oh, we made a game with The Last of Us 2, we made certain creative decisions. That got us a lot of hate. So the joke is like, you know what, let's do something that people won't care as much about. Let's make a game about faith and religion.
Whether it's any good or not, we've yet to see. But it's clear Neil's not taking his foot off the brake anytime soon.
Do you know what? If he can laugh about it, amazing. You know, because at the beginning of that kind of whole segment, it was him saying it was the hardest and the lowest time of my life. Do you know what I mean? But really interesting to find not only like his story but the backstory of how it all started. And it wasn't this I don't think this video was I mean it's titled the most hated I can't even speak. It's titled the most hated game dev, but I don't think it was all about that. I think it was quite nice that it showed a little bit of the backstory of where it all came from and things like that. And I think it's just the world in general is that just we are so exposed to everything now. Everyone's got an opinion because everybody can, you know. And that is probably the nuts and bolts of it, is that you can see everyone's opinions, and you're gonna see the good and you're gonna see the bad, you know. But you know, I've said it before, but my whole experience with The Last of Us, and even now when I'm only halfway through season 2, and I'm still enjoying it.